Hi, girlies. Welcome to Book Please Podcast. It's Alina here.
Hey, guys, it's Amanda.
I am feeling like I'm in a whirlwind.
Listen, them Mondays.
Today is Monday when we're recording, so we get, cut us some slack. But we just had such a time. So we come into our studio every week, and Amanda books one week, I book the next week. We go back and forth every other week. This week, we each thought that the other person was up to book. So we shout out to AV Club Studios. We record here every week in Fort Lauderdale.
And we just show up like we have.
We came here today without an appointment because I thought Amanda booked it and Amanda thought I booked it. We are in the studio. We're setting up. We're getting turned. We're ready to record. And then all of a sudden, the door code, bing, 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 bing. And we're like, yo, what the fuck? And I literally, with the most confident fucking face, look at these men that are coming into the studio. And I say to them, excuse me, we're in this room for the next hour. We have it booked. And they were like, oh. And we're like, and I'm like, no, we're here. And then I look over at Amanda.
You're like, you booked it, right?
And she don't look so good.
Well, because you asked the question. I'm like, wait, I thought you booked. And you're like, no.
And I was like, no, I thought you booked.
Ugh,
Turns out
it was my fault.
it was your week to book.
Sorry.
But I will give you the out.
Yes, I have to say, okay, usually like when I know it's my time to book, I'll be like, okay, what time do you want to do? Do you want to do Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah.
And then I know like I need a book. And then you texted me like out of nowhere on the weekend and you're like, hey, are you okay with like Monday at this time? And I'm like, yeah, works great. And I'm like, okay, she must be booking because it's her turn this week. I don't know.
And I didn't clarify. I was asking because very excited about this, but my parents are coming this week. So they're coming tomorrow. And I wanted to book ahead of time to make sure that I had time to like get in here with you, edit and everything to be done before they get here. So that's what I was asking. So it was like an off thing that I wouldn't normally do. Like normally if I'm asking you, I'm booking. So that makes sense. But it was funny because these people, thank God that they didn't actually have a booking for like an hour or two studio time. Like they had booked one of those things where it's like a trial to like come and tour the studio for 15 minutes.
And then Alina's salesperson came out quick.
We had a full showing. We were like, this is the studio. These are the mics. We were like, this is how the cameras work. We're like, this is wonderful. The guy here is wonderful. Everything is perfect. We've never had an issue. We were selling it. And we know the guy is watching us on the cameras. So we really.
He's like, you bitches showed up without an appointment.
You better fucking
sell that
work.
Shit.
I feel like he might hire us. I feel like we might have a part-time job in the works.
Listen.
I mean, this was quite a time, but it really worked out that they literally had booked like a 15-minute tour, not like a session. Imagine they had studio time booked.
And they're so nice. They're like, we don't want to cut into your session. We're like,
and I was the bitch. Like, I was like, excuse me, we are booked. I was shutting the fucking door on their faces. And then I turned around to Amanda and I was like, oh no, she doesn't look right. I'm like, girl,
no, and I feel bad because I wasn't looking right because I'm like, oh my God, like maybe they confused a time. Like, let's not be mean. Maybe it's not their fault. And then I'm like, oh shit, it's our fault.
Until I asked you if you booked it. You're like, I thought it was your week.
And you know what's funny? They send a calendar invite. So like usually I see it pop up if you book it, vice versa, like if I book it. Yeah. So I should have like questioned it, but I was just like, oh, maybe she just didn't include our book please.
Neither of us got a calendar invite. Neither of us got a confirmation. And we just were like, yeah, let's show up like as if nothing. What a time.
Wow. Shout out,
honestly,
AV Club.
I blame myself too. I should have clarified. I've just been in chaos. I am moving in 2 weeks. Very happy to report. Very excited. Ready for
moving locally.
Yes, moving. Yes, thank you for clarifying for our very large audience who tunes in every week for us. Just staying. I'm going 15 minutes away, but to a beautiful place. I cannot wait, and I'll be closer to you.
I'm gonna visit all the time.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I keep telling Cash I'm nervous for him.
He'll be
I'm
fine.
mostly nervous for him missing all of his little friends at my complex. My dog, I should clarify, my dog Cash. He knows where all of his friends live in the complex, so he goes up to their little doors every day when we go on our walks, and he waits for his friends, and he knows them. Like, I know it's all he's ever known. It's his only home since I brought him home.
He'll be okay. He'll make new friends.
Yeah, I hope so. It's just some of them are irreplaceable. Shout out to Auntie Cassidy and Scotty. And it's going to break my little heart. But we're going to go back and
visit.
Yeah, and they'll visit us and it'll be fine.
You guys can go to a little dog park, have some drinks.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That's all I care about with the dog park is
That's the best
drinks.
invention. There's a dog park by us and it's like called Barkyard and Brews. And it has food trucks and drink trucks. And
this is not a sponsored.
No, that whole episode. I'm like, here's the studio link. Click down below.
You're giving everybody free advertising.
Free advertising. But yeah, like this place, the drinks are strong at the dog park and they play music and these dogs are just running around and their parents are like getting lit.
They're like, let's get these people fucked up. They think they have children and their pets.
I told Amanda she's coming. Like she can just come just for the drinks. Like turn up.
That's the only reason I would go.
I know, and for your nephew Cash.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
But if I see another dog being a little aggressive, I might have to fucking kick it.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
kidding.
No
I don't
animal
abuse
abuse.
Animals. I don't abuse animals. I'm kidding.
Abuse, but we're going to tell them to back away. Sometimes I will look. I judge their dog parents. I'm like, you watching your kid? Because look at mine. He's getting too close.
And then you see these big dogs and the little ones are in the water and they're on top. And I'm like, you're trying to drown my dog?
Get away. Back it up.
I don't have a pet. I was just saying, if I did.
I know. I can feel the passion. I was thinking too, because we are getting an extra room in our apartment. We're setting it up like a guest room / office. So excited. And then I remembered that I was seeing this stuff pop up that there's like 20 to 40% of couples that prefer to sleep in separate bedrooms, like at night. Separate beds.
Prefer.
Like this is their chosen arrangement that they have separate rooms to sleep at night.
I get it, but I'm too needy for it.
Girl.
I get it because if you have a partner that snores, how the hell are you sleeping if you're a light sleeper?
I don't get it, and I'll never get it.
Now I get it. I think to each their own. And if you literally are like, and you can't sleep and your partner's snoring, you don't want to keep fucking them up every night to stop snoring. You just sleep somewhere else.
Like it's a special case thing where it's like, okay, somebody's really, really loud one night and you can't sleep, or if somebody's sick, which I still want to be there and baby my man.
Sick, I'm gonna lay right next to you.
But if I'm sick, I'm saying I would feel bad.
They better fucking stay next to me because I would stay next to you.
I know. I would say like my personally boyfriend would be like is right next to me, but like
I have a funny story since you're saying that, and I think I told you this, but so my boyfriend was traveling and I was home alone, and. Yes. I came home, I went into the bathroom, and there was this huge ass roach.
Oh yes,
huge.
They always come out when the men are away.
I was like, this is my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I don't mind if they're around because I'm like, oh, go kill it.
Yes.
But I look for the broom. I can't find the broom anywhere. I finally find the broom like 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
I go back in the bath. It's gone. I can't find it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't sleep in my room.
Yes.
So I slept on the couch.
You did?
Oh,
you actually did?
Yeah. I slept on the couch.
That's so funny.
And he ended up coming home like that morning, and I was like, you need to find it. We need to, and I don't know where it is. Still to this day, I've not found it. Must have left.
So that actually happened to me too, right? When my boyfriend was not around and I FaceTimed him. So he was there for moral support virtually. And he's like telling me what to do as if I don't know. There's just something about these bugs.
And they're huge in Florida.
Like I'm not used to this. It makes me weak in the knees. Like my teeth hurt. Like I'm cringing. I have chills. Like, and I'm not a wuss with a lot of things, but like these bugs really scare me. And this one was huge and it was on the ceiling in my bathroom. So all I kept thinking was, it's going to fall on my head. It's going to fall on my head. And I couldn't live like that. And I'm here with my dog and I'm like, we're going to have to abandon ship. So I put him on FaceTime and he's like, okay, get a broom. So I'm thinking this thing is going to fall on my head.
And they fly.
Girl, I was shaking. And like, you know, when you scream like that, like I don't even want it. It just comes out like you really can't help it.
No, I get it.
And so I go to swat it and I'm so scared. And I just give that shit. I was like, I'm not going to miss because if I miss, I think of literally land on me. So I give it a nice whack. I knock over with the broom my entire shower curtain. My shower curtain rod falls, hits the artwork over my toilet, knocks over the artwork, shattered glass, shower curtain down, bug missing.
I was gonna say, please tell me you at least got the bug.
Eventually, yes, but not in the moment. And I'm searching through pieces of glass, and then I have my dog that I'm like, stay away, back up, and I'm all by myself, and I'm like, oh my god,
I will
single
attempt to change
at this
tire. I will attempt to hang something, build something.
Yeah,
bugs killing them.
Yeah,
no way.
Like I'll use a drill, I'll do it all, but that scares me. I will do it. I will kill the bugs. Like I'm not gonna not. You know how it's like, okay, I'm not sleeping in my room. Like eventually, like I will just kill the bug.
Well, I tried to kill it, just disappeared, and I was scared. That's all.
Yeah.
I was like,
you're like, it's gonna go in my mouth at night.
Hell no, there's no fucking way. I won't be able to sleep. I'm looking at the ceiling the whole time. One of those little
itchy
fuckers flying around.
Isn't it funny when you like know there's a bug, then you start to feel it all over your body. You're like,
my anxiety. I'm like.
Safe to say we're not killing bugs and we're not sleeping apart.
And then there's people, don't come at me. I don't want to hear you people that are like, oh, don't kill bugs, let them out. Shut up. Killing roaches.
Yeah, it depends. If it's like a butterfly
or even a spider,
or a
like
ladybug.
Yeah, I don't mind like a spider either, because
if I can easily let it out, I will.
Yeah.
There was a little baby frog in my apartment once. I let that shit go. I was like, open.
I don't want to tell you my
No,
sad
don't
frog
tell me
story.
about the frog. I already know about the frog. It's too much of an animal.
He's still outside. No one ate him yet, and I feel bad. Circle of life didn't happen.
I don't want him to get eaten.
He's dead already. I killed him accidentally.
Stop.
Try to save him though. Okay, anyways, moving on.
Okay. We got to get down to business, talk about Selling Sunset, because we didn't get to talk about that last week.
I got a lot of feelings about this.
Okay, so for those of you who may not be caught up on Selling Sunset, there's like two sources of drama here.
Yeah, there's like two different, let's start with, I guess we'll start... let's start with Nicole, because I feel like you have a lot to say about Nicole. So,
I do have a lot to say about Nicole, because this was coming out before the season aired.
Yes.
So basically, Nicole is like the villain, and she is just a dirty, dirty person. Last year, she was insufferable on the season, and she's just like annoying. She's not a villain that you love. I love Christine, who had been the quote unquote villain, but like you fucking
Miss Quinn?
You love her. You love to hate her. She's a saucy queen. She looks
never make me hate her.
Yeah, but like you know what I mean? Like that's a villain that you're like, okay, like we love you.
Yes.
Even though you did some crazy shit.
But then we have like Nicole's and Whitney's.
Nicole and even Whitney. I won't even put her as bad. Whitney from Mormon Wives. Nicole is just the worst of the worst. Like I don't even want her on my screen. She doesn't make it enjoyable. And basically we found out that there was drama before the season aired because the cast got the season. They got the, screenings before it aired, and it fired off a shitstorm on social media because Nicole you don't even have to watch the show to understand this. This character dropped some very defamatory remarks about one of her cast members and said that her cast member Emma was sleeping with a married man, and continued to bring it up throughout the season on camera. But it was never told to Emma that this was out there, that this was airing on the show, and that she never got a chance. Okay, if you're going to put drama out there, she never got a chance to defend herself. Production never asked her side, and Nicole she stayed bringing it up and whenever she could on camera.
I think Nicole,
about a random rumor.
I want to say don't quote me. I want to assume she's one of the older ones that's on the show.
Yes.
So to me, it's like she just seems like such a hater. Like she's jealous. Like last year was Chriselle she was after.
Yes.
And now she's just like, you're married. You have a family. Like, what are you bringing all this drama in for? Mind your business. And even if, I know it's a rumor, and like, even if it was true, who fucking cares? It's not your business to tell. Right. Shut up.
To come on camera and
then if it's not true,
rat out your cast member to such a degree, regardless of it, if it is or isn't true. And it's so funny because everyone has like in unison from all sides kind of just been like against it and been like, this isn't even true whatsoever. And she blew this whole thing out of proportion. Like you don't even have a basis for your claims, and you're going there attacking this poor girl. You're making her look horrible. And then the kicker is like she has to find out when it airs and like hasn't even been able to address it or shut it down, so nobody even sees her perspective.
Yeah, she's not very mature in my opinion. She's like, she acts like she's like 12.
Like I just need her to be, and it's to the point where like the girls stand so strongly and feel so strongly about this. Like Chriselle, who's Emma's best friend, is saying like she will not do another season if Nicole is there. And she's also shaming production. She like tagged them and called them out and was like, if this is how you're going to run your season, I also don't want to be a part of it, because
they should have let her clear her name.
Yeah. Like,
at least.
How do you let this go on throughout the whole season and you just like leave her completely in the dark about a total lie and rumor too?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think Nicole brings any value. Like, there's nothing that I like about her. Like, even when she's showing play, like, I feel like she's just there.
Like, she's not, that's what I mean. Like, she's not like a fun villain where it's like, oh my God, she's crazy, but like, whatever she brings. This is absolutely just dirty, low. And it's like, I don't know if she's just dying for attention. She doesn't have her own like
storyline.
Like, exactly. But like, even if you were just kind of like the kind one who like faded into the background, like people would like you more. You would probably get better deals. You would probably like just across the board, people would have more respect for you. Like Alana. Okay. Alana is a new cast member on this season.
Well, I'm hearing she says she owns a town that she don't own.
Oh, that was crazy. But for the most part on the season, unproblematic. Yes. She's a hard worker. She dressed better than like,
and she's younger than her and more mature.
And I was like, and you know what? And Brie was joking like she's vanilla, she's bland, but she was. But I liked her because I'm like, you know what? You work hard. You're trying to prove yourself. This is interesting to me. You want to grow in real estate. This is why we're here. I'm about it. I'm like, okay, Alana, like I have no issue with you.
Yeah, it's like stupid drama. But then I feel like Chelsea's situation that's going on, like that's so different.
This is the other piece of the drama.
I feel like Nicole's part is just very like, there's no facts. You didn't see it with your own eyes. Why the hell are you saying anything?
Quite literally. And like even everyone tried to stop her from saying it.
Oh yeah, they're like, shut up.
They were like, don't. Did you see Amanda's face? Like she almost gagged. Like her mouth dropped.
And then I wanted to, and then what's her name? The blonde chick?
Emma?
The other blonde chick. The one that's married to the younger guy.
Mary.
And then Mary, she's like, what are we talking about? I don't know. And I'm like, please just shut up. Please.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, that. And I'm like, oh my God, that dragged on for way too long. Like, just get it together.
It's just so awkward because it's like, how are you doing this right now while we're filming? I was like,
and honestly, I don't even care for Emma this season at all. So like, I feel for her. I feel like, it says a lot. Like I feel for her. I think Nicole was fucked up. She should be kicked off the show. But Emma, I don't care for either.
Yeah. Well, we can get into that now. So basically the other source of drama here was that Chelsea, which we kind of knew already, that Chelsea, in real life, it had already been transpiring that she's going through a divorce. Her husband, we didn't really know why, or it wasn't like confirmed until the show started. At least in my view, I didn't hear exactly what happened, but her man was no bueno and he was cheating. And basically how that was learned was she's like a friend of show. She's not a full-time cast member, but this girl, Amanda, got a DM. It always goes down in the DMs about Chelsea's husband being seen at the W Hotel with another woman and like frequently. And this person who knows Amanda messaged her, told her. Amanda tells Brie. And Brie relays the message to Chelsea.
I think Brie handled it perfectly.
Yes.
I don't think it was a setup. I think, and I knew Amanda before she was on Selling Sunset and before she was like huge.
Yeah.
And I love her on social media.
Yeah.
Like I've bought stuff off her Depop. Like
yeah.
love her.
Yeah.
So when this all came out, I was like, oh, Amanda, I love you. But like this sucks that you have to be like the delivery of this. Like, like you're getting your screen time, which sucks that this is how you get it.
Yes.
But I think what was Brie supposed to do? I think Brie going out to dinner with Chelsea, telling her the way she did was stand up. Like, like she could have just been like, she'll find out from it airing. But she didn't. She addressed it right. She cried with Chelsea. I cried for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And
the issue was really like, we watched it play out and we thought everything went well. We thought Brie handled it with the utmost respect. And also like sitting across from a woman while you're on camera and you're expressing this to her, she like gave her so much grace. She's like, listen, she didn't even say to her, like, fuck, like, because you never know how the other woman is going to feel. They have kids together, whatever. She gave her every out, like, set it up so that it would, like, translate well to an audience where she was just like, I'm here. Like, she's like, I'm telling you this. And no matter what happens, you never know. Maybe this will make you guys, like, go to therapy or whatever, and it'll make you stronger than ever. Like maybe like she just had, I think she handled it so well and so delicately. It looked like Chelsea received it so well as well. And then I was really happy with how that went down because I felt like Brie was wonderful with how she handled it. Then afterwards, we cut to a scene where Chelsea is sitting with her closest friends who are on the show, which are Chriselle and Emma. And she's like, they're kind of talking about it in a way. And I'm like, oh no, don't turn this on Brie. And apparently they turn, like, Chelsea starts feeling like, was this set up so you could, embarrass me and whatever on camera? And they start going through like that kind of a situation. And what bothered me the most was in that scene, Chelsea made it seem like she conspired to blow this up in front of camera, when it has come out now and Chelsea has confirmed that this information was relayed to Chelsea prior to it happening on camera, which is the only problem I would have had about it, is like, you don't tell a woman that her husband is cheating on camera for the first time without telling her behind the scenes in real life.
And she knew. She said she had an inkling. Women know.
Yeah, women always know. You can feel it. But also at the same time, the fact that Chelsea acted like she blew up her life when she agreed to do this scene with Brie, knowing, and when you watch it, this is not a distraught woman in shock. She knows what Brie is about to tell her. Like, she was way too calm.
I blame production. Like, they obviously, if Amanda's coming into this scene, they're going to say, what's up? What are you going to tell her?
Yeah.
We want to know if it's juicy enough to film.
And Brie knew that she was going to say this. She didn't know how her delivery was going to go down. She didn't know she was going to show the DMs. Like, yes, maybe that was a lot, but like at the same time, Brie did everything right. There's no reason these girls should come after Brie for what happened.
Yeah, and I feel like too, it's like, Chelsea, you look so fucking stupid. You got to have Brie last season for her broken home and having kids and not having that. And then
that's kind of karma.
That's fucking karma. Exactly.
Like, I know if I feel bad saying that, God forgive me.
No, but she was nasty to Brie
like,
last season.
She's like, I don't support, because Brie is somebody who has one of Nick Cannon's children, and she is raising that baby with so much love and happiness, and she's a great relationship with Nick, and he always comes around.
And she's a great mother.
So why are you gonna sit here, even if it's unconventional? It's not your place to sit here and judge. Brie has more than enough to take care of this baby, and the baby is luckier than a lot of babies out there, and she's sitting there saying she can't condone somebody who's like promoting broken homes. Well, now you have one.
Honestly, Brie's better than me. I don't owe you shit, bitch. I Brie's like godsend the way she handled that, because if it was me, I would have been like, after everything you said to me, fuck you, fuck what you said about me, I don't care that your husband's cheating. I would have been salty.
The only problem I would have had with that scene is like, you dropped a bomb on me on camera and I didn't even know this. But she did know it in real life.
She didn't know her anything. Even if she did.
Right. But I could understand feeling hurt by that. I could understand to some degree feeling hurt by that.
It just shows Brie's a better person.
And
that's all.
The fact that she did it right, how dare you?
Exactly.
And I also thought it was really messed up of Chelsea, because you know what? I wasn't always Chelsea's biggest fan. I really did love Chriselle and Emma, but Chelsea there was always some, especially when she did that shit with Brie. I was like, nah, I can't. Like, the three of them are friends, but like, to me, I only like the other two.
Yeah,
but
I don't mind them. Like, I feel like Emma and Chelsea have this weird. I feel like Chriselle has her mind on right, where she's like neutral. She's like, I am friends with everyone. Whereas Emma's like, I don't know what the hell's up with her and Chelsea. I'm like, I understand you guys ride for each other.
I don't know where this came from, because Emma and Chriselle are really like the two out of those three that are the closest, and she's like blindly following Chelsea. And I understand you can support her through her hurt, but you can also see both sides. I really appreciated that Chriselle was like, you know what though, Brie, I still see her side, and I'm not going to fully be like, you're both my friends. And I was like, thank God there's a voice of reason there. But then when Chelsea is sitting there like making this look bad on Brie, like literally shaming her name when she did nothing to you, if anything, she handled it better than a lot of people would have, especially given what you've done. Yeah. Then she tells Chriselle, call her. Like, she's, forcing her friend, putting her friend in a predicament to call one of her own close friends, and then wants her to pretend like Chelsea's not there so she can just talk openly. And I was so happy when she said no, like to act like Chelsea wasn't there. Chriselle's like, I can't do that. I was like, thank God.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
You stupid bitch. Like,
yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. She's a fucking fake friend. You don't put your friend in that predicament if she's friends with the other person. I would have been like, Chelsea, this makes me look at you differently. I don't want to fuck with you. if you're trying to wedge me and my other friend.
That actually is true. Like I would look at her differently.
Yeah, and she's like making them choose. And Emma's like, oh, I'm up your ass.
How do you
I choose
not
you.
make somebody choose?
Yeah.
How do you make somebody choose? Like, that's actually crazy to say to your friend, like, if you're not on my side, like over something like that too, where it's not a clear, if somebody like just totally did something so dirty to your friend, that's understandable. But this is like very, very like gray area, not black and white whatsoever. Both sides can, you can have empathy for both people in the situation. And even Brie was like, I'm not making you guys choose. Like, that's silly.
Brie's mature about it. She's like, fuck you.
Team
I
Brie
don't
for
care.
sure in this situation.
Chriselle's the only one I think she should be friends with. Everyone else can go fuck themselves.
Yeah. 100%. So well said that I have nothing to add. Nothing to add.
Love you, Brie.
Yes.
You can never make me hate you.
Yes. 100%. Okay. Let's get into a book to TV series, The Perfect Couple. We just read it. It was our last book for the pod. And there is a TV series out on Netflix. We've been waiting for it. The book was great. We both rated it highly, and we were very disappointed.
I was shook. I could not believe how much they changed. It's like, why not just make your own film or like do something different? Just
said
like
the same thing. You turned The Perfect Couple into a show, and then you didn't keep any of the rooted stuff that makes it the perfect couple.
You're like, let's add a brother in. Let's change who had the pills.
Changing main characters' names.
Yes.
Is absolutely unhinged. I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay, that's Celeste. Okay, it's Amelia.
Yeah, I'm like, what's wrong with Celeste's name?
What is freaking Featherly? She's Isabella. I'm like, who the hell? Then they added another brother. And it was nothing. If you're going to make a show, just honestly make a different show.
Yeah, they changed even like the whole ending of it. Like
you changed the ending.
You closed out the ending.
You have a literal thriller, and we know the way the story ends, and you changed. Even if the same person is at fault for a totally different reason, the way that it plays out, it was stupidity. And I feel like I have heard people love the show, but the only people who like the show did not read the book.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry, you casted it perfectly.
And I think honestly the book was way better.
Ball. The book was way better.
Storyline better, ending better.
Was stupid. And I also thought that like you made the characters so unlikable. I hated everybody.
There's no one I loved.
I didn't know who you're supposed to root for. First of all, Benji was supposed to be like this gem. You're supposed to like really love Benji and know this is the good-hearted one. And like I couldn't even feel like, I was like, he's kind of a dick.
She didn't even have a stutter.
I did it. Yes, she lost her stutter, which was like such a metaphoric part of the book. Then she also was kind of like insufferable. Like she was annoying. Why was I more into Greer? Like I was like, yeah, that's right. Like show some effort that you like the son. Like I was like, what the hell is going on? Everybody was a lunatic on the show. Tag was crazy. There was like this book event. He went and he had a whole speech. And then at the end, this unhinged Greer like goes up to Amelia and she's like, I read a book about you. I'm like, this is so weird.
Yeah, the ending was super weird. And then like the whole pill thing, like I like in the book that Karen had nothing to do with it.
Yes.
And then we find out that like he went and took her pills, and it was about money, about like the
it was about money. I was so confused about the whole
like
thing.
Cheating. I get.
I was like trying to connect the dots, so it made me super confused. It was way too far off path. This wasn't the same book, and I'm sorry, Ellen Hilderbrand did a great job with this book, but like this is not doing it justice. You had such an amazing cast and resources to work with, and this is what you came up with.
Yep.
And I personally was so touched by that final scene in the book where Featherly is like stumbling kind of to her death and like her sleeping pills are kicking in and she's envisioning her future.
Not Featherly.
Oh, so sorry. Merritt. They changed the name so much. And she's thank you for saying that.
No, you're good.
She's envisioning her future. And she's like thinking about the baby and they even changed the jewelry. It was supposed to be a ring and it's a bracelet.
Yeah.
So stupid. And she's like thinking about her daughter, how she's going to give this to her. That pulled at my heartstrings. And like, that's like the final scene. Like I was waiting for that moment because that really got me.
Yeah.
And it really killed me. And like, you want to feel the feels. And then they just like did something so opposite that this woman was just like after money.
After I watched it, I was like, did I read the book right? Was I like, am I not remembering the book 100%.
Right? I did the same thing.
I was questioning
and then
myself.
They like made it super obvious too that spoiler alert, it was Abby because they have her like rinsing this glass like so intensely and then the police come and they're just like, oh, I'm like, this is all fucking stupid.
And I was excited because the casting seems good.
Yes.
But I think, like you said, the acting was just not the way they no one was like.
They made everybody a dick.
I didn't even care for Shooter.
Why did they make? Yeah, they showed nothing of her love story with Shooter.
Yeah.
Like, we're supposed to feel torn. We're supposed to feel like, oh my God, she knows this is the love of her life. That's what I'm saying. Like, she didn't make us like anybody.
Her mom was when it was probably like in 2 scenes. That was it.
It was.
I forgot Karen was there.
Crazy. No, me too. And like the Bruce and Karen love story, like we didn't have anything that pulled at our heartstrings whatsoever. And everybody was like rude and weird and crazy. And they were trying. I don't know what they were trying to do.
Even the dancing thing, I didn't like that shit either.
That was the best part of it. I didn't like it either.
I was like,
kidding.
okay, I can't take this serious.
That's the only thing, like, it was all chaotic. It didn't match, and that didn't match the vibes at all of the show. And like, even Abby, like, Abby isn't like really that much of a bitch on the show. She's just a woman who's being cheated on, and she's pregnant and she's hurt. Like, why did you make everybody like an asshole?
And my thing too, it kind of shows in the show that she was with him for money because she didn't give a. I mean, obviously, didn't care he was cheating. You just didn't want another baby born in the family.
I was like, what the hell?
What if Amelia / Celeste got pregnant? You're gonna kill her off too? It just didn't make sense.
Right? It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Shame on y'all for that.
You get no stars. You get
Zero stars for the show. I almost thumbs it down on Netflix. I've never even done it. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna give it a thumbs down.
You could double thumbs it down.
You can.
I think you could double. You could double thumbs up, double them. Yeah.
So, what? All right.
Maybe I made that up, but if not,
you might have.
Netflix, add it.
Okay. For this, we'll do it. Okay. The moment I've been waiting for.
Book recap.
Let's get into our book recap.
Yes.
So basically this week I had Amanda read one of my favorite books, and then we're going to read one of her favorite books, and we read Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, chapters 1 through 9. But I just have to say this first. There is something about recommending a book that I love recommending books, but if I get too in my head, I'm like, oh my God, like, do I have to downplay it? But no, it's okay. You just have to go in and thinking this, like, it's like when you recommend music or somebody tells you to like play a song and you're like, oh my God, is this good? Like, you start to question, like, I love this book and I will vouch for it. And it puts me in my feels and it makes me so happy and so sad and so everything. And I'm so excited about it. And then I started to feel like, oh my God, the pressure, like, is she gonna like it?
And then I give you a play-by-play. I can't help that.
Yeah. But I really was, and then that's fine because I read it too, but I was sitting here and I was like, oh my God, there's something about like recommending a book where you want to like downplay, like after they start reading it, you're like, yeah, like just to make sure that you're not like talking it up too much.
Well, now that you say that, since I've been reading the one you recommended, I'm like, damn, what if she thinks the one, like, we read Little Secrets next and she's like, this shit is trash. Mine was way better.
Isn't it scary? Because I even feel that way. Like, I know this will trigger you, but I feel like you hazed me into hating Ugly Love.
Ugly Love is awful.
See, like, but that's fine. And you can think that.
It's like soft
But
love.
I remember how much I enjoyed it and how I used to like go to the next chapter, and I flew through it and I was just like enjoying it, like a cute love story.
I'm like, ugh.
And you hated it so much that you hazed me into believing that it wasn't that good.
I'm an unpopular opinion.
And I sit here and I'm like, yeah, it wasn't that good. It was a cheesy love story. And I sit here and I firmly am like, yeah, no, I didn't like it. It was okay. Like, and now I'm like, I won't recommend it. But before I had so much joy and I loved it. And now I'm like, oh, I have to downplay that it was good. And now I remember when I think back, I'm like, no, bitch, you fucking flew through that in a couple of days and you were loving it and you couldn't wait to see what was happening next.
Well, I can tell you the difference. I feel like Ugly Love is just like a straight love book. There's not layers to it like this book that we're reading now. Like this book, like, she's out of prison, I'm like, oh shit, what she do? Who she kill?
Yeah,
and then there's love like in it, which is great. Whereas like Ugly Love is just like all love. It's like, oh my God, the neighbor.
But there was some shit in there too. Like you were figuring out the situation with the guy, I forget what his name is now at this point, but like kind of like why he was so damaged, why he wouldn't date. Like there was still stuff there. It was I get it.
A little unrealistic, like the push and pull. Like I'm like, oh my God, just fucking date already. Just go out. You like each other. Like that annoys me. I hate dragging.
For me, it was one of my like gateway like entry Colleen Hoover books, so I didn't mind it, but then they just got so much better. Like I wouldn't put it in the same class at all as Reminders of Him or It Ends With Us, like, I wouldn't.
Yes.
And I love books like It Ends With Us and Reminders of Him because they have these layers that you're talking about. I'm obsessed with that. Sometimes for me too, it's super unrealistic. Like when we're reading something and it's so cheesy and you're like, a man would never do or say this. It's so ridiculous. Like you can't get into it. Like when they're too far gone, for me too, I feel the same way. I do need some depth in there. And it does need to like resonate with me for sure.
I'm actually surprised that she wrote Ugly Love too, because I feel like in this book, she's like, the pace is good. She's realistic.
Yeah.
You know, things are happening quick. I'm not waiting forever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whereas with Ugly Love, I'm like, you're pissing me off.
Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Yeah. But I would say her other books, like she's got a decent track record with Reminders of Him so far, with It Ends With Us series,
I love those,
with
yeah.
Verity. Like we can't
Verity was pretty good too.
Say, you can't say you
can't
hate
have 'em
Colleen
all.
Hoover is all
Yeah,
I'm saying to you.
I just
right?
hate Ugly Love.
You don't hate Colleen Hoover.
No, I don't hate Colleen Hoover.
Thank you.
I hate Ugly Love.
Okay, that's fine. Allowed. Let's get into the book. How are you feeling about Reminders of Him?
So super good. Really hard for me to stop reading.
Ugh.
You know, that's how I know
Oh
I'm
my
enjoying
gosh.
it. I like that she, you know, kind of like what I mentioned. Like, you know, we learn she gets out of prison. She's going to find her daughter. You know, she meets a guy, but she's also looking for a job. She doesn't want to get distracted, but she's human. You know, she has needs.
Yeah.
So she like feeds into that. You know, so I like how it's moving and it's realistic. Like she thinks, like she's very, you know, even when I mentioned, you know, it kind of ends with, you know, Ledger playing, like he's coaching t-ball, so she's like, oh, does he have a kid? No, it's a niece. And then she's like, oh, that could be my daughter. So
Yes.
it's realistic instead of
Yes.
being like, oh, that can't. So I like that I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh my God, is she
Yes.
gonna go to the game? So like I like that. And of course, like I like guessing too.
Yeah.
So right when it started, I texted her, I'm like, Ledger's somehow going to be involved with her daughter.
Yeah. No, you were doing great. You were doing so good. And what I also loved about it too with Ledger, when like about you saying how it's not that unrealistic, I would have been mad if when he said, you know how he said his name, he's like, oh, my name is Ledger. And she was like, I was sent in a spiral. I know exactly who this is. Holy fucking shit. Like, I love that it wasn't like, oh, like, that sounds familiar. Like,
yeah. And then
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like it drags. Like she immediately was like, oh, fuck, this is the best friend.
But on the other end, I'm annoyed that he doesn't recognize her. Like you're raising the kid. You don't see the resemblance.
Well,
you
that's
don't
a
know.
little crazy.
She went
And
to jail.
I think that's too far because
No,
they
not at
never
all.
they never got to meet.
I know, but I would want to know the girl that killed my best friend, what she looks like.
That's
She went
fair.
she did a trial. She went to prison. How do you not know what she looks like? Especially, I would want to know.
Well, maybe he wasn't in court, and also he was not living there. Like he was in Denver.
I know that part kind of annoys me, but I also like.
There
I
has
guess
to be something.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
also, you wouldn't put it together. You're like, okay, this girl's name is this. Like, it's such a crazy, far-fetched thing that you may not really.
And she's young too. I mean, it's only been 5 years. She must still look like herself. So for me, that's a little far-fetched. But changing the name, maybe he's not thinking much of it. So much going on in his life, and like you said, maybe he just never saw a picture of her. But I think that's also.
Yeah.
I would want to know. Like if someone got into a car accident, I'm going to be like, who the fuck did that? I want to see.
No. I totally hear you. I think it's also like that's not going to be your thought, but fair.
But I'll get over it. If that's like my only thing that I'm annoyed about, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yes. I definitely like this has me in all my feels. I was reading it like smiling because I'm like, oh my God, it's just like bringing up all the things that I read. And it was a couple years ago too. And I like was remembering everything as I'm reading. And I'm like, ugh, Ledger. And I love too how it's like, it was even steamy in the beginning. Cause you know what? This bitch just got out of jail. She's a hot mess. She sees this guy. She has this connection and they're just like hooking up. And that's normal. Like normalize that. I'm not waiting until page fucking 800 to get to one scene. Like sometimes that's really annoying.
I know. I'm at the bar watching the game and I'm like, oh, spicy.
Yes. I kind of like that. Like it's realistic. Like, you know what? They hooked up after the bar. Like cool. Dope. We got it done
but I have
in
so
like
many
the
questions.
first few pages.
I want to know.
What are your questions?
Obviously, she was drinking and driving. Obviously, I think it was an accident. I don't think it was intentional.
Okay.
And I like that she's writing to him too. Like I think I'm like crying when she's like, you know, I met your best friend. Like, you know, it's just like so cute. Where I'm just like, I mean, I can't imagine someone. I don't know if someone.
The
can
letters
do
are
that.
crazy and they're so real, and I love them. And she threads throughout. We learn things through letters, which I love. And this is a mark of Colleen Hoover because she did it in It Ends With Us when the main character Lily would write to Ellen DeGeneres, and I think she does it really well.
Yes, it's cute. I feel like it's even though like I love her in Ledger falling in love. I think about her and Scotty, and I'm like, oh, so cute.
Yes, I want to say something.
Is it going to give something away?
Kind of.
No.
But not really. It's not going to reveal anything.
Okay.
But like kind of the way that we learn too what happened is like through a letter. Like just so good. Like she just does it so well.
I want to know, like, I know we're going to go back to the scene of when it happened that night. Like, I'm just waiting for that.
Yeah.
But I'm also like that she's stringing me along to be like, if she would have told me already, I'd been like, well, now I know what happened. So it's okay for them to fall in love.
I want to cry right now. I can't wait. I mean, there's so many pieces here because it's not just Ledger realizing who she is. It's also about what happens with the daughter. It's also about now that the parents, right now the parents have no idea she's even in town.
Yes, she's going to see them.
And so that's a whole other piece. Like you have the parents, you have Ledger. I thought it was so funny how like she walked there like thinking like she's going to her little bookstore. And I was like, oh my God, it's a bar, honey. But so yeah. And then there's the piece with the daughter. And it's a lot because it's like his parents hate you probably. It's what you're thinking. And have your kid. And
I have so many questions too. Like, what about her family? Like, why is the kid with his family? Did they explain that? Yeah, I don't think they did.
I think it's just that
I know she planned to go to school there. That's why she was there.
Yeah, I don't think they addressed anything about her family yet. But I also think it's like, there is a custody situation. So if she's unfit and she's in prison
and he's the father,
then there's something that the courts say you go to court and you figure out.
Can I do predictions?
Yes.
Okay. So I think the father will be Patrick. I think he's going to be a little more forgiving than the mother because a mother losing her son is like in the world. Yeah. So I think she's going to give her a hard time. But I think the dad will and the little girl, she probably wants to know her mother. I know she calls her grandparents the grandparents. So they must have told her something about the father and the mother, I'm assuming. Or maybe they didn't say where the mother is. Maybe she's just away. But I think she will get her kid back. I think her and Ledger will live happily together and raise her. And, he'll be pissed at first, but I think he will forgive her. Which I will hate if they fall in love and it's a long time until he finds out. I think that would be, but I feel like that can't be realistic. He lives across the street from the family. So it has to happen soon. So yeah, that's what I'm hopeful of.
I think you might be pleased with this book. Yeah. I certainly have nothing but amazing things to say. And no one can take that away from me.
No, I like it so far. And I'm pleasantly, I wouldn't say I'm pleasantly surprised, but I feel like you would know if I would like a book.
Yeah,
because you know what I hate now.
Yes. So I'm really very happy with this. And I appreciate you, doing this, being a team sport. I know it's a love book.
I just need to know if I could ever let you recommend books again.
Yes, I know. You see, there it is, the pressure. So for next week, I cannot wait. We're reading chapters 10 through 19 in Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover.
If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. We're also on TikTok and Instagram at Book Please Podcast. Thanks, guys.